if we would want to go into
1 second
it.
is up. We cannot go into it, unfortunately. But let's get into Galamsey. We just have a couple
Why
of
the
minutes
president
to go.
appoints the Ghana gas?
You know why he's fighting?
But
Because when they have had the opportunity after 30 years to come into power, they would want to also repeat.
well, so there's Galamsey apparently happening along the Accra Konongo Highway, and our reporters from the Northern Bureau, along with our reporters in the newsroom here in Accra, were able to gather some information and also get some videos with regards to that. In fact, we're told that there are a number of excavators that were busily digging. Well, they said they had told the assembly that they were going to dredge the area, which we're told is a wetland. But in actual fact, what we're seeing on the screen does not look like mere dredging. And from our reporters, they're indicating that what is actually happening is Galamsey, and community members have complained about this incessantly. This has been going on apparently for months. And there was a conversation or an interview that was had with a rep from the EPA, the Environmental Protection Agency. Let's listen to what exactly he had to say as to whether he was aware or the agency was aware that something like this was happening.
What we can relate to it was a recent letter that we got from the Municipal Assembly that they wanted to undertake dredging. So when we got, it's only this week that we got information about the mining activities that is taking place there. From what we are gathering, it's not the dredging exercise that we were informed. So we need to go there and then we inform the appropriate quarters. But for now, there's no licensed company to undertake any mining activity in that area. So whatever is taking place there, if it is not a dredging exercise, then it is illegal.
Dredging exercise, then it is illegal. They just found out about this about a week ago or 2 weeks ago. And they found out that what was happening was actually Galamsey. I mean, this is disturbing, Lawyer Maliba, is it not?
Once upon a time, there was a president who said that he would put his presidency on the line to fight Galamsey. With this revelation, what would that president do? Will he leave us in peace? Because it appears when President Akufo-Addo speaks, matters get worse. I remember when he stood before Ghanaians and said, "There shall no be haircuts." And the next day, there were a lot of haircuts. I think that as a country, where we have gotten to with this administration is a lost story. It is lost. We can't do anything to salvage this president and his government. Because this Galamsey, we knew were in bushes. Now they are bringing the Galamsey into city centers and beneath our roads. And are they saying that during this period when this Galamsey was taking place, there was no official of the Minerals Commission, there was no official of the EPA who plied that road to see what is happening, or even the roads ministry, when their roads were being chipped off, they didn't see? Is it the case that those who are in government today just simply want to amass wealth with their 2 fingers and their 2 hands? Is that what they want? But the welfare of the people is no longer their interest? Is that what the story is about? See, which sector of the economy is doing well? Give me one area which you think that you can give this government a plus. It's difficult. It's very difficult. And yet, they are where the people of Ghana know their scorecard, and they will be preaching to the people that they will win this election. And I dare ask them, suppose the NDC was in power with this bad economy, this bad governance, would they agree that the NDC will win the elections? So why do they think that the people of this country wash their faces upside down and will vote for them? If not, they want to compromise the votes of the people. So, Bella, I am at my wit's point. I can't tell you how we can resolve this matter because we have a government that is stubborn. And if you have a bad person who becomes a president, it won't change you. If somebody was a bad father, bad individual, when he becomes president, it will reflect. I heard some MPP guys were caught at the eastern region there about having stolen some electric poles. Why wouldn't they do that? Because they see there are people at the top doing the same thing. So it's a rotten case. Bella, I'm sorry. That's how I'll end it.
It's a rotten case, you
say. It's a rotten case.
Rajantwa, I mean, you hear from the EPA rep and he says that they only found out just a few weeks ago that this was actually happening. We're told this was happening for months. This is by the highway.
How possible? It's not in the bush somewhere. It's not in a forest area somewhere where you can't go and inspect. This is Gani in front of you. And what they've done is affecting the integrity of the road. Yeah. Yeah. And he's saying he knows nothing about it. This is why National Security should go and question him. Should go and question him. If we say Galamsey is a stain on our country, then National Security should do something about it. But anyway, the president has given up, hasn't he? The president has given up. What did he say to us? I'm putting my presidency on the line. He's leaving in the next 4 months. Where's Galamsey? Hasn't it gotten worse? How many times in your house does water go off in a week?
It only flows once a week in my
Once
house.
a week.
Yeah.
Sometimes twice a week. What is the reason? Because fresh water is now contaminated. Yeah. And even Galamsey water is now entering the sea. Don't we see the challenge there? Look, President Baumia, Vice President Baumia, one of the things he should be talking about is Galamsey. All the things he talks about. The land is where everybody lives. What happened in Takwa once upon a time? When people mining under people's houses, go and see where those houses are today. Is it that we don't care? Is it that you cannot shift the people's mindset? If they were growing food by the roadside, who will complain? Yeah. Who will complain? But you leave people. And when they interviewed, I listened to an interview on Joy FM yesterday from one of the people. He said, well, Akufo-Addo and Baumia haven't created anything for us.
Exactly.
What do you expect us to do? We don't have money to live. Our existence is on the line. So what do you want us to do?
And even the chief also reiterated this comment. There was a chief in Achimwenchi who had also said that if they are not creating jobs for the young people, even though they are the custodians of the lands, they cannot stop the young people from engaging in Galamsey.
But you see, this is where the chiefs also make a mistake. Governments come, governments go, chiefs are there. They should find ways of creating employment for the people. They should find a way. They should find a way. And there are ways.
Isn't that the job of government? Isn't the job of the chiefs?
It is a job of all of us. It's the job of all of us. Ours is to make sure that government puts the right infrastructure and policy in place for people to now take advantage of it. So, if for anything at all, a chief can tell his people, look, this Galamsey is wrong, it is bad. Let's look at how we would start farming and doing agriculture on a large scale, and they link into the regional minister, they link into government, for government to say, okay, we'll do A, B, C, D, E. Look, where I come from. I come from Mampon, Ashanti. My chief, the Mampon chief, Nana Bonsu, has dared anybody try and come and do Galamsey Mampon. Try.
There's no Galamsey.
Yeah,
There's no Galamsey.
No Galamsey Mampon.
Okay.
You'll find out. There's no Galamsey there. So if chiefs can put their foot down, like Otumfo has put his foot down, and the stooling chiefs who are doing Galamsey, if they could all come on block and put their foot down and handle those doing Galamsey, will that not help? Look, 3/4 of Ghana's land mass is said to be covered in oil and gas. From what GMPC have done so far on the seismic onshore
Yeah.
for oil and gas. They found some good deposits around the Kintampo area. If it so happens that, yes, we have huge oil deposits,
yeah.
and the land has turned into Galamsey, how do we do it? How do we do it? You see, the government should be bold enough to say, small scale Galamsey, we are banning for the next 10 years.
But
They
they
should be able to say
banned.
it.
They banned them for a while. You remember
And
at
what
the
happened?
beginning of the fight
And what
against
happened?
Galamsey. Eventually, they
And what
took away
happened?
that ban.
And that is why I'm saying a democracy is not a democracy for development. A democracy is a democracy for elections and procurement. That is what a democracy has turned into. Because once election is over, everybody goes to bed. Peace Council should be working throughout the year. Should be making sure you speak and train to people, work with the chiefs. Galamsey should be on Peace Council's list.
Okay.
Because it's destroying our country.
Bella,
Let me let Nanaya out.
I beg you, if you can wrap your head around this small text,
Okay.
you give me 1 minute, a second.
30
The
seconds.
Galamsey, this is a resident of Konongo. The Galamsey is taking place right behind the Minerals Commission office in Konongo. Can you wrap your head around
What?
this? This is a resident from Konongo.
Well,
The
we have-
Galamsey is taking place right behind the Minerals Commission's office in Konongo. This is a resident of Konongo. I can give you his first name.
Yeah.
Yabua.
And producers, if we can just check with the Northern Bureau team if they also were able to detect if that's actually true.
Can you wrap your head around this
When
one?
the president comes to tell you that's a member of his party who is heavily into Galamsey, he comes to tell you Akonta mining is no forest
yeah.
area. What do you expect the people to say and do if the president himself can say such a thing?
I mean, do you get a sense that government really cares about the people, especially because even beyond destroying our lands, yes, it's affecting our water bodies, and that also has an effect on us. Because in these mining areas, we're told by the medical service that a lot of people are now reporting issues of kidney failure.
Yes.
Because of the kind of
Yes.
water that we're consuming.
Yes.
Yesterday, a man in the community said he has to now put charcoal in his water to purify it before he can drink as a result of the activity that's going on.
Did you not see pictures of a sheep with double head? Did you not see those
Yeah.
pictures in the Galamsey areas? Do you not see fetuses conjured in a certain way? Do we not see it? And we sit and do nothing about it. Mr. President, Mr. President, before you leave, the 4 months before you leave, please put something in place where Galamsey is concerned. Please.
In
Nanaya.
our view, we are declaring the Galamsey issue as a matter of national security. This is actually a matter of national security. When you look at the effects of Galamsey, as you're saying, aside it affecting settlements, aside its effect on our land, the water, the food. Bella, I know most of us, when traveling from Accra, because of traffic situation, we go by air. But mostly I drive. And if anybody comes out to tell me that they do not know and they have not seen the videos that you showed, then the person is not in Ghana. It is not as though there are some trees that are covering
Area.
the activity. No,
Open.
it's open, broad daylight. And it's not as though they work in the night. When you are driving past, there's this sort of a bridge when you are leaving.
Culvert.
Yes, the covered, they use it. It's there. No, so even if the EPA from Accra, the head office, are not seeing it, do they not have an EPA office in that area?
They do. They do, which is why the gentleman is saying he was not aware until
And so you
recently.
come to tell me that you are not aware of the activities of Galamsey. But Bella, it all boils down to leadership. leadership having the conviction and believe in what they say and actually pushing to ensure that what they say is implemented. And so, if you have a leader who believes himself and can able to say and that he is accountable and should be held accountable, if you have that level of leadership of integrity, just as Alan Chamantin is preaching, we can take this war up. But fortunately, you were present during the media engagement by Alan Chamantin. Now, on the issue of the management of our natural resources, even before I come to that, lawyer made mention of the fact that we should be able to have our chiefs deeply involved in the management of our natural resources and the fight against Galamsey. On the governance cluster of the Great Transformational Plan, Alan is proposing that we deepen the participation of chiefs and queen mothers in local government administration by creating specific roles for chiefs and queen mothers within the local government structures. That aside them having that traditional authority, because of the modern times we find ourselves, let us create roles for them to also have that level of political authority to be able to stamp their feet. Because no chief would be interested in having Galamsey affect his people and him driving in big cars. In any case, the licenses that are given to these companies that they also push on to the people who go to do Galamsey are not issued by the chiefs. They're done here in Accra. So what authority do the chiefs even have? But if we have been able to give them specific roles in the local government structure, that is, that when you have come within their jurisdiction, they are able to stamp some level of political and administrative authority
over it.
I
mean, they don't have to have that because, again, like the Domahine has said, nobody should dare come and do Galamsey in this area.
We
has said it.
We have existing legislations and regulations.
Okay.
But it is the enforcement of it that is causing the troubles we have.
Okay.
Otumfuo, in one of his speeches, stated that the people in the room where he was delivering the speech are they to tell him that they do not know those who are involved in Galamsey.
We have to wrap up.
But then we are saying that some level of authority should be given. And leadership should be dealt.
Chiefs are also complicit.
Well, on that note, thank you so much, gentlemen, for joining us. We once heard party needs money, so they were involved in illegal money, and that's money need money. And John Bosco says EPA boss must resign. And he's asking himself again, me, under Nanado's government. Okay, so you don't think that can happen? I mean, how? Galamsey happening right behind the Mineral Commission office. Hey, Ghana, so much impunity. I've seen all your messages. Good morning, Mr. Robert Kuzo. I know you're watching. Also to Mr. Eric Olam. Good morning to you as well. Mr. Eric, did I say Olam? Eric from Olam. He says that bad leadership, widespread poverty, and lack of alternative income earning opportunities are the root cause of this menace, Galamsey. Quite a long message. I cannot read all. But good morning to everyone else who has also sent messages. Prominent individuals and entities engaged in Galamsey use their undisclosed profits to influence officials mandated to scrutinize the sector. Guy G, good morning to you as well. And thank you all for your messages. This morning, I've been speaking to lawyer Abraham Maliba. He is the head or the director of conflict resolution under the NDC. So I guess you resolve this conflict between yourself and Peace Council and eventually sign, hopefully. And also lawyer Kwame Jantua is a private legal practitioner and member of the Convention People's Party. And Nana Yao Sapong is a political aide to Alan Chamantin, who is the founder of movement for change. Thank you all for joining me on the show this morning. And very shortly, we'll be crossing over to the Sekondi Lorry Park, where today's edition of Community Manifesto will be coming your way with Roland Walker. But before that, also know that Nashiko's show Just As premieres tonight at 7. And we'll be discussing that even further with Cookie after sports. Just remind us, we'll step into the world of Dewa. Lawyer, it's like you're ready to get up. Easy. Easy. We're resolving conflict here. Step into the world of Dewa 539 for your chance to win big with Dewa Direct and Dewa Chop Money. With Dewa Direct, dial star 446 hash, pick 1 to 39 and win 20 times, 40 times or 400 times your stake, and win cash every evening at 7 p.m. and on Sundays at 6 p.m. Early birds love Dewa Chop Money. At 10 a.m., dial star 446 hash, choose 1 to 39 and win 20 times, 40 times or 400 times. Play at dewa-nla.com or dial star 446 hash and call them now on 055-6259-249 or 053-2479-879. Dewa Afa. I hope you've been playing cash out. You can win 1,000 Ghana cedis this morning. Just dial star 439 hash and select option 2. Thank you again, and we'll be back with more. It's still the day show. Well, look at me. It's still the TV3 New Day. Yeah, I've been shooting day shows, so that's what will happen. It's still TV3 New Day. We'll be right back with more.